I don't think this deck is going to be affected by the ban announcement, especially in best of one. You know, Screaming Nemesis is a bit of a problem. Slickshot Show Off also could be up for talks, but I really don't think anything is going to affect this deck. Yeah, so Screaming Nemesis actually ended up going down along with Vivi and Prof's Eidetic Memory. 3 cards banned in the format on November 10th, and that kind of made the video that I just put out about Boros Burn a little bit useless. So I figured, why not? I got to rush out a video because I was waiting for the bans to record something, and I figured I'll lean into Mono Red to see how the deck will be playing without Screaming Nemesis in the format. To do this, I figured, you know what, let's lean into the Deepest Might, a card I played before in the format. If you're not familiar with this card, it is a 4/4 god for 4, but it says, if a red source you control would deal an amount of damage, non-combat damage, less than Ojer's power to an opponent, that source would deal damage equal to Ojer's power instead, which is 4. So since I'm leaning into that, I'm playing a bunch of cards that are going to be doing non-combat damage to the opponent. Razorkin Needlehead is going to ping every time they draw a card. Scalding Viper every time they cast a spell with mana value 3 or less, 1 damage to the opponent. And Hired Claw dealing 1 damage on the attack. So if we can get an Ojer onto the field, these are all going to be dealing 4 damage. Additionally, Nova Hellkite, pretty great card. It's going to be dealing 1 damage to target creature an opponent controls if we have the Ojer on the field. And then Shock gets a little bit better. Burst Lightning also gets a little bit better. This is the first draft of the deck. We're going to see how it plays without Nemesis in the deck. It should still play just fine. That Boros Burn deck that I put out, I didn't play Nemesis all that often in those games, and that video did end up going pretty smoothly for me. So I'm going to hop into some games and see how this one turns out without Nemesis. Okie dokie, game 1, playing Mono Red this time around instead of Boros Burn, seeing if these low to the ground creatures and pinging effects can get it done. We are playing River Pyre Verge for the Scalding Tarn, just to point that out right off the bat. Opening hand looks okay, good. Before I forget, as usual, help the channel grow. Subscribe up if you're new to the channel, I really appreciate that. And leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the bans. Do you think Wizards nailed it on the head with this one, or did they kind of miss the mark? Did they go a little bit too light? Love to know what you think. Dock onto the field. So we are playing against an opponent that is playing, what is that called? We're getting rid of this Dock. This card is going to make plotted cards a lot cheaper. This is the Battle Crier combo deck. So they want to plot out some stuff and then run us over, which is going to be a problem. I think this Scalding Viper is actually not going to get a whole lot of value because they're not playing a lot of cards that are going to be 3 value or less, except for the ones that they've just rushed out now. Okay, so let's zap the Weaver. The Weaver was going to let them untap every time they cast a card, so I guess they could kind of combo off with that, and then I guess I'll put out the Scalding Viper. Now the Scalding Viper isn't really going to be able to get in for damage unless we remove this Land of War Elf. Oh, okay, maybe we have a chance here. They plotted that. Okay, well, I'm definitely going to want to kill this when it hits the field, so I want to keep open the Burst Lightning for this turn. I also kind of want to get rid of this Land of War Elf, but I'm a little bit pinched on the amount of mana that I have available to me. So is it just going to be Burst Lightning on the Elf and then play out the other Scalding Viper? This seems a little sketch, but I think this is what we're going to do. Okie doke. I suppose I could have... Hell, I don't want to bounce this, though, right? No. Okay, so this is going to be whenever another creature you control, power 4 or greater, enters. Ooh, okay, we're getting some pings. They don't have the land, so I guess they were trying to dig with this Esper Origins. I wonder if they're going to put out the Trailblazer as a blocker, a potential blocker. Okay. No land. We have a little bit of an opening, so that's kind of cool. I'm just going to play out the Emberheart Challenger, and I'm going to swing in for 6. I'm still going to hold up this Lightning Strike because it might end up being something good to send on the face or send on the outcast Trailblazer. I'm not really sure what I want to do with my limited resources right now. We need to draw a few less lands. This deck is playing 24 lands, quite a few lands overall, but we definitely want to make sure that we have enough mana to hit the Nova Hellkite when we find it and the Ojer. So they do play out this. They're taking a ton of damage from these Scalding Vipers. And like I said, I don't know if I want to put this damage onto face or if I want to put it onto one of these creatures. The Esper Origins is really good. So they're going to be drawing a card if I let this resolve. I think it's probably fine to hit the Trailblazer. I'd really rather them not draw a card. That feels bad. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get there. This Esper Origins can gain them a little bit of life. We're not going to be able to attack in because they have a 4/4 and a 2/3. And I think I'm kind of just out of steam, so I don't really know. You know what I need off the top is probably the Nova Hellkite. Would be one of the better draws. A shock, certainly not. Okay, well, we're just going to hold back. Hopefully they kind of are in a position where they can't cast much out because of these Scalding Vipers. They're going to take damage if they play out the Trailblazer, because that's 3. If they play out more of their Trailblazers, that's their 3 as well. So if they try to combo off, maybe this shock could sneak in that last 2 points of damage. Okay, Devastating Onslaught. That's huge for the opponent. They played it for 5, so they didn't get pinged with the Scalding Vipers, and they're going to gain 4 more life, right? Oh, they don't gain... they don't gain 4 life because this is just the summon side. It's not the Esper Origin side. That's fine with me. Yeah, okay. So we'll take 8 damage, happily. And try to find something off the top of our deck. Okay, that could have gone a lot worse than it actually did. Hired Claw, I guess it's fine. We'll put it onto the field, and if they end up taking damage, we can start pumping up the Hired Claw. That's the deal. Okay, they are down to 1 blocker now. They do have Into the Flood Maw, but if they end up casting it out, it's going to cost them 2 life. Man, these Scalding Vipers are just obnoxious. Okay, the opponent does decide to bounce one of the Scalding Vipers, which, you know what, might end up working out in my favor because it does have the Steam Clean side of it, the adventure side. And I might just be able to bounce the Teamer Battlecrier. Yeah, this is going to work out for me, I think. So we're going to pump up the Hired Claw. Yeah, next turn looks good. Okay, go to our turn. We find Soulstone Sanctuary, that's fine. I'm going to bounce the Teamer Battlecrier just to be annoying. And I'm going to play out the other Viper, and that allows me to get in very... if I go like this... Yeah, no, we attack all out, right? We have the extra damage in hand, and I don't think they were going to be able to do too much. Those Scalding Vipers were super impressive in that game. It's actually the first time that I played with them, and... whew, happy boy. Okay, game number 1 went very smoothly with our no nemesis, no problem mono red deck. Kind of like the name. I'm at a kind of a weird spot with Magic right now. Like this week has been a little bit of a weird situation because... I think we do this one first. Because of this ban announcement coming out on my Tuesday, I don't really know how to plan my videos. Okay, we're against Esper. Yeah, I'm gonna put out the Bashtronaut to try to get the Start Your Engine going, and then hopefully this Hired Claw can at least ping in. No. Okay, so they remove the Hired Claw. It is what it is. Yeah. Yeah. So what I was saying is, it's hard. I wanted to wait for the ban announcement to be able to record a video, but then it kind of makes it a little bit hard for me to find the time to record the video in the morning and get the editing done before I can pump it out. You know, everybody's time is kind of limited. It is a thing. And then with Avatar, I had a hard time remembering the name. Avatar's coming out so soon, right? It's going to be coming next early next week, we're going to get the pre-release stuff for that. So although decks are going to be changing right now, then in a couple more days, they're going to change even more. So you know what? I kind of figured, let's just play a mono red deck. It's not a big deal. And it's the Ojer style deck, so it can maybe be a little bit interesting. And I'm sure people are still going to be playing this style of deck at some point in the near future. Okay. I feel like this is just like a board wipe waiting to happen, so I'm just going to... They're going to draw cards here, is what I'm assuming. Yeah. And they would have responded to the Razorkin Needlehead. Man, that... I don't know. I can never say anything properly. But if I put that out, I think they're just going to wipe the board, so why rush it out? They don't do that. Okay, let's put 3 damage on their face. We're missing out on a prowess trigger, but I think firing it off now is okay. What are they going after with the nowhere to run? Do I save my Emberheart Challenger by firing off both of these Burst Lightnings? That is definitely an option, right? But I would have to put both of them on my opponent's face, and I don't know if I like that. Okay, have the Emberheart. It's okay. Hopefully this Burnout Bashtronaut can actually get in for maybe 4 damage next turn. Ooh. They have 3 open mana. I feel like if I put this out, it's going to get hit. Oh, I really want to. You know what? I'm going to try running it out because it's going to make my Burst Lightnings good, and if they do end up countering it, at least the Burnout can get in for 1. I guess it's fine. It lands. Okay. So now that that's on the field, I think they're going to have a little bit of a hard time dealing with it because when this thing dies, it comes back as a land, and then I'm going to be able to maybe transform it back. Oh, Ultima, the one card that would get rid of it? Scoundrels. Okay, it's fine. Scalding Viper and the Needlehead are both going to be doing a little bit of poke damage to the opponent, probably. Man, Ultima? Poor fella. And they had the Lightning Helix, of course, gaining a little bit of life. Why not? Look at these Burst Lightnings, and we can't... Oh, unfortunately, I can't kick them yet. I'm a little bit short. Okay. Flanker comes out. It's going to block, so I'm going to throw the Burst Lightning onto this flanker. At least 2 damage gets through, and we maintain our Scalding Viper. They are gaining 2 life here, and scrying. Oh, I hate... What is this called? This is called Jeskai Black. This might be one of the decks that tilts me out the most when I'm playing casually, you know, on Discord with friends and that. And if I run into a person playing this deck, boy oh boy, do I get annoyed. Okay, Scalding Viper getting in, and you know what? We run out the Bashtronaut. 4 cards in hand. Surely they have tons of stuff that they can do. Okay, so wow, big on that. That's the thing about this Jeskai Black deck that I hate. They're gaining life in so many little ways, right? Their Lightning Helix gains them 3. Their Inevitable Defeat gains them 3. This thing is coming in gaining 2. Just you get them a little bit low, and then constantly they run back up their life total. And wait, stock up 3 open mana, 4 open mana. This Bashtronaut probably not going to be good enough. Hey, that's okay. So let's see if we can get in for... Yeah, why not? I'll activate it. I'll pump it up by 1. If they remove it, they remove it. If it's 4 damage, though, it's going to be great. Ooh, okay. And do you run out the Scalding Viper? I think you do. Put it on the field. I kind of feel like they might be consulting again. There it is. More consults. That was very quick. They pulled those 2 cards into their hand very, very quickly. Must have been great ones. Probably another more Inevitable Defeats and Lightning Helixes. Kind of hose our board. No, just an Ultima. Okie dokie. And they have 3 open mana. We got a Higher Claw. We're still not finding that 5th land so that we can start kicking these Burst Lightnings when we find an opening. Kind of crazy. Yeah, Lightning Helix again. I feel like my opponent is actually at 40 life. And I have to go through so much. I never beat Jeskai Black. I think probably I have close to a 0% win rate against Jeskai Black. But on the same note, since this deck is so strong, I decided to actually try it out myself. And I just played a few games with it, and my god, is it ever boring to play. Because you're so reactive, and you're just sitting there and you're just playing. Okay, oh, they got a couple creatures. Okay, we'll throw out our board wipe now. Oh, they have 1 creature. Oh, we throw out the spot removal. And it's just so monotonous, and the games just drag on because your win con is literally just a couple of prowess creatures. And yeah, I found it very, very mind-numbing to play. They're gonna know. Okay, it is what it is. Jeskai Black, super strong. Hey, if you like playing that deck, it's a good one to be playing right now. Okay, can't let that last one bother me. When your opponent has every answer to everything that you're doing, it wears on you. But we're getting to go first this time around, and we have a pretty good opening hand. I think obviously lead out with Higher Claw, so I can try to attack in with it next turn with another Higher Claw and a Bashtronaut on the field, so that we start our engines and we get to do extra pings with the Higher Claws. And then finally, we have our Nova Hellkite showing up in hand. Hopefully they're playing a card that I can ping. It's always, man, when you get extra value out of this Nova Hellkite and that 1 damage actually removes something, boy, does it ever feel good. Okay, opponent also on red. A cheeky house mouse? Oh no. Okay, well, so does that change things? Do I want to trade my Higher Claw for a cheeky house mouse? It's so awkward because I can attack in and pump up with the Higher Claw, or I could just play out the Bashtronaut and the Higher Claw. But now I can't get the start your engine. I think I just have to go out with it this way. And if they want to trade with the Higher Claw, I think it's fine. This will leave me with 2 good creatures on the field. Engines will be up to 2, and we ping them down for 2. So I think you would trade in my... Wow, I think I would have traded the house mouse. They might have the double strike mouse, and that's why they wanted to have this one on the field. Do they have nothing? That's wild to me. Absolutely wild. So we can definitely get in with the Burnout and the Higher Claw. I think we can just pump up whatever they block with. So probably this is okay to go. And if they don't do anything, we'll just let it through and we'll play out one of these Razorkin. Okay, opponent. The Bashtronaut's going to be a big problem for the opponent on the following turn because it's going to be getting double strike and the potential to pump up to +1. Pump up by 1. Maybe I should have held up the shock here because they might have the Shelter by Ghost, and the Shelter by Ghost would be a big problem for me. Okay, we find a pretty good card here. Yeah, just attack all out. If they want to try to pump up the Emberheart Challenger with a Prowess trigger, we'll take it out with the Burst Lightning. They have a hard time blocking the Needlehead. I don't know. We're just kind of running over them right now. Okay, I'm assuming they're going to react to this. They're going to do something, so we'll let them make their move first. There is the Fleeting Flight. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature against flying. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this. Sorry, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to it this turn, not to you. Okay, oopsie. So let's blast the Emberheart Challenger. Let's blast the Cheeky House Mouse. And get in for 3 damage. Maybe I should have just... No. Because we needed them to react with that flight card. I was thinking maybe I should have just fired off those 1 CMC spells beforehand to remove their creatures, but I think this is fine. And they're done. Flowerfoot Swordmaster was not going to be able to block everything. We were getting in for at least 4 damage with just the Menace and the higher claw things. And then, of course, they wouldn't be able to block the whole board. So we take them out. Cool. So, yeah, the deck's feeling fine. You know, obviously when the opponent's not able to just remove everything, you know, Mono Red, of course it's going to be strong. And I think once Avatar comes out, we're going to see a new flavor of Mono Red because of these Firebending creatures. The Firebending prowess creature is pretty insane, and I think it's going to probably start warping the format even more so. We'll see how it ends up shaking out. It's fine. We'll do this. We can't get in with it, but we can at least get in with the Bashtronaut. Yeah, so we're going to see a new flavor of red once Avatar comes out. I think there's no question about that in my mind. I mean, it's a free block here. It doesn't matter where we block. But yeah, I'd like to know what some of your ideas are for what people are going to be building now that Nemesis is gone. What are your ideas? What does the format become without Nemesis? Okay, I'm just gonna get in for 4. I think we're dead actually because we don't have a way of removing this Arabella unless they block. I was hoping they were gonna block one of the Ember Hearts there, and I was gonna be able to burst lightning prowess. That was the idea. So the only plan now is going to be Nova Hellkite plus burst lightning next turn to hit the Arabella, but she's gonna be gaining them so much life. Like I think this is just a bad matchup for us. And oh, whoa. I couldn't burst lightning? Oh, of course I can't, because Voice of Victory. Yikes. Oh. I don't know. Oh, crazy. Mobilize is such a cool deck that I always want to build, and I never get around to doing it. But when I play Mobilize, my opponent is playing Jeskai Black and has removal for every single creature that I put on the field. Unfortunately, we were only stuck with a Burst Lightning with 3 and 3 power creatures on the field. Ooh. Gotta do a little bit better. Also gotta do a little bit better with my speaking. I feel like, so I did just basically roll out of bed and saw the ban announcement. I was like, okay, I gotta get this video going because I don't have time. But I feel like my brain hasn't powered on it. No coffee yet or anything. Jumped in the shower right onto the computer. So I apologize if the speaking is not as fluid as it should be. Which my speaking is never exactly great and consistent and proper, but it could be doing a little bit better. Hey, we get the Scalding Viper out, and we're going to get some extra damage on these opponent playing out Forsaken Miners. Ooh! Now, they do have a blocker with that greedy freebooter, unfortunately. I was really hoping that the Scalding Viper was going to be able to sneak by the Forsaken Miners, but that's not happening. Is it worth hitting? No, like that's silly, right? Just to get damage in? It's probably better just to play out the Emberheart Challenger and swing that way. Okay, and then the lightning strikes in hand are 9 damage, so that might end up going quite far, as expected. No block. Whoa, okay, I like that. Prefer no block from the freebooter. 2 damage in. We need to get them as low as possible. Okay, so definitely this Vengeful Blood Witch needs to die. Oh, this is perfect. Oh, it's even better. Okay, so we hit this. This is just drain us, right? Yeah. Cool art. I've never seen that art on that Vengeful Blood Witch before. And you know what? I think I'm just throwing this upstairs. We get double strike on the Bashtronaut now, and we're getting in for 8 damage. So if they don't gain life this turn, and if they don't kill us, this lightning strike is going to be a lethal attack. And they also need to play out cards to survive the Scalding Viper at the same time. So a little bit of a tricky position for them. Okay, we just keep going. Win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. Okay, hopefully we can get a little bit more of a consistent win streak going on here, and hopefully we can see the Ojer landing on the field. That's what I really want to see. Okay, we get to go first. Yeah, it's fine. This is fine. It's a little sketch, but it's okay. The Verge is pretty much a free play because it's always just going to be a mountain at worst, and the odds of us playing Steam Clean is pretty low. So I like it in the deck just as a 4 of. And we're against the same deck. We're going to see some more aggro skeletons. I think I'm going to go Scalding Viper over the Emberheart Challenger and try to get that poke damage in right away. And the Emberheart Challenger is going to have haste come in and sneak past these can't block creatures anyways. Okay, Swamp, and then a Vengeful Blood Witch. So definitely, again, I'm scared of the Vengeful Blood Witch. We're going to be hitting it with the Shock. And Emberheart Challenger also onto the field there. Doesn't look too bad. So we get in for 5. They drain us for 1. And the board's looking okay. Oh, you know, that was a mistake. I was so focused on getting the Emberheart Challenger down. I think it probably would have just been better to throw out the Nova Hellkite there. It's still in our hand, though. We can do something else with it. It just would have been cleaner to go Nova Hellkite, ping the Blood Witch, get in for 4, and then hold back the Emberheart Challenger plus the Shock for something else. Now, if they play another one here, that's going to be massive for us. No, instead they traject our poor Scalding Viper, get back their Forsaken Miner, which is okay. So this is not good yet, but maybe next turn it'll be fine. I think we just put this onto the field. It's not going to kill the Forsaken Miner. I really messed that last one up. I should have 100% did it the other way around, where I just already had warped out the Hellkite, and then this turn having Emberheart Challenger and still having the Shock in hand would have been a lot better. Still, they need to put something really good onto the field here because this Nova Hellkite's going to be coming down, pinging something. That's good. Okay, they're draining us for a little bit. So we have options, and I don't know what the best way to go about this is. Is it just probably Lightning Strike onto the Sephiroth is the best thing. Get in with the Emberheart Challenger and put the Bashtronaut onto the field. Hold the Nova Hellkite for a future turn where I can get better value out of it. And this is at least going to be 3 damage. Actually, it can be a little bit more. I should have done that first. I should have done the Rockface Village. Counting out your mana first is always a better idea, but like I said, no coffee yet this morning. One more game. Okay, our 7th and final opponent is Skylord. And we are currently 4-2. We get to go first. Going first. Mono Red's biggest advantage. Oi, Bashtronaut, you know what? Bashtronaut's been impressing me so much. And it looks like they don't have any response. So our speed is up to 2. And as soon as, man, when we get speed 4, that thing really gets out of control fast. Deep Combat, looking at a hand that they don't want to see. That's fine. We do hit the Shock. I think it's probably fine just to use the Lightning Strike here instead of the Shock. Then in the future, if we hit a land, we can go Lightning Strike plus Shock or Lightning Strike plus Burst Lightning. And that's looking okay to me. Down to 13 already. You know, Mono Red's going to be fine. We didn't need Screaming Nemesis. It's a good card, but it wasn't necessary. Shoot the Sheriff. I don't know. I think I'm hitting the Bashtronaut here if I'm the opponent. And what we're going to do is we're going to get in for a little bit of extra damage. Okay. Down to 9. Not hitting lands is a big problem, but 2 Bastronauts double striking on the field with Menace is going to mean that if they play out like their Aklizots or something like that, it's not going to be good enough. The end. Okay. Cool. And they just scoop it up. Wow, I don't know. That was a premature scoop. But hey, I'll take it. 5 and 2 and cool. Okay, nice quick one for me, which was nice because I need to get this video done. Ojer not showing its face. It showed its face once against that Jeskai Black deck, but it was immediately answered by that timely Ultima. It is what it is. I still like this card, and I think it's cool to have in the deck just as a 2-of, because when it does show up, it can be very powerful. But the core of the deck is still so powerful. Man, Mono Red, these cards are just so good. And although we don't have arguably one of the best red cards that has been printed in a very long time now, Screaming Nemesis, this archetype is still going to be just fine. Avatar is also introducing so many new good red cards that I think without a doubt red, mono red, or Boros red, or some combination of red is going to be at the top of the ladder. So if you want to climb, you want fast games, you know, just throw whatever cards you have together into a deck. You know, throw a couple of removal spells in there with Burst Lightning and Shock. It's cool. And then if you have the rares, you know, throw them in. I guess that being said, it is a little bit of an expensive deck because all of the key creature cards are rare cards. So expensive red aggro is, I guess, the theme of this deck. But it definitely works. You don't need Nemesis, although it would be nice. Let me know what you guys are doing now that the bans have come out, and if you're also just kind of waiting around for Avatar to come out. It is kind of a weird position. They timed this ban announcement at a very awkward time, especially leading into Avatar. So for my content, I think it's going to be a little sketch for the next couple of weeks, but bear with me. I'm going to be trying my best. Still getting over that cold, by the way. Man, talk about a cold that just lingers for 2 weeks. I can feel it in my throat every time I say a sentence. Hey, at least we won some games with Mono Red, right? That's it for this one. Take care for now. See ya in the next video, and saranghae ipuna. Bye-bye.